Good evening, everyone. System Chalk here with the 226th episode of our first run through YouTube, playing as the artist, first run of Book of Hours. And we've quite a bit that we can get done, actually. So I've got a couple of packages to open up. We'll do that right away. Let's use our metal to open that. Something renounced. Who threw this overboard? I'm going to keep going to the beach while we do this. Maybe let's not use Inks of Power. What are some of the ones? Pearl and Tide will do the trick. And I can afford at least a little bit of moon use, but I want to be careful on that one. Okay, so the day's main task is going to be to use the sharps to level up Hill and Hollow. Now, we really only need 6 memories for that, and we've already got one that we'll get overnight, but one thing we can do is talk to Mrs. Kill and bring her in, so Mrs. Kill's mood always improves when I drop by. So we'll start with that. Mrs. Kill stands ready to help. You always cheer me up, she says morosely. But what we can do right away is we can just start loading up all of the different items that we need. So with Ava's desk, we will. So I've already got a salt on the way, and here we can just think about the. It was the moon and scale. So basically, any moon and scale that's not going to be generated by Mrs. Kill, we can apply. Actually, before I do that, no. Let's focus on the skills. I'm trying to think of the right order in which to do some of these things, but there's a slight catch if so there's an order that I want to do things in, but then it doesn't really make sense for me not to go the whole way with something. So I'll leave it aside and then we'll follow up. So we've got 2 of 6. Can't even remember which of these I'd used before. That should be 3 of 6. Four of 6. Guess technically this could be 5 of 6. I think I'm gonna have to deal with at least one kind of wild card here. So we'll add an intuition. Actually, if I'm doing that, I might as well add a fear. So really, bringing in Mrs. Kill is not really that relevant here, because I've already used my elements, but there you have it. This will actually be helpful for getting the Ascendant Harmony. Okay. The dream of a star is not apparent to the human eye, but its presence, once felt, could not be mistaken for anything else. So I rather foolishly used the desk. Let's see if I can bang out a quick right, that's not gonna work. Quenchings and what am I even thinking? Strings and songs, I think it's a little too weak. Oh no, there we go. Ascendant Harmony. Fair enough. Exactly 10. And I think at that point I'm getting pretty close to a full roster. I think Edict's Marshal might actually allow me to make a Forbidden Epic if I use a Confounding Parable as well. I should maybe double check that. Okay, well, there's the fear. There it is in Camino Tizzer. Mrs. Kill, as every local gossip knows, came from France to marry Mr. Kill, but there's scant trace of the continent in her accent now. Obviously, I feel a little silly getting the fear, but couldn't have known that I was going to get it at the time. Threw this overboard. Honey, the Comprehensive Guide. Harvey Hattington, pilot, polymath, confectioner, writes with great enthusiasm about the marvelous work of the bee. Hattington insists that all the primary aspects, nectar, scale, heart, lantern, moth, grail, are possessed by bees and expressed in honey. Clearly, he points out that there are only 6 primary aspects, as a honeycomb has only 6 angles. Ugal Inc. is prepared with these techniques, but so is Skinshuck Mead, and only Skinshuck requires honey. Just as any beverage or foodstuff can be improved with the addition of honey, so any garden is improved with the presence of bees, even those bloody blumberendi. The Locksmith's Dream, Portions and Proportions, the second volume of Teresa Galmier's examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. The frontispiece has been slashed with a razor. In this volume, Galmier records fewer dreams and explicates more on her own elaborate theories. We see this again and again. What is below can't escape what is above. The finest artisans all dream of the white door in the end. I'm no artisan, only a scholar. I think there's a secret that all these artisans know, but I think that secret is only half the story. Moth, the Grail, and the Egg Unhatching all tell different stories of the world's beginning. One of those stories is the oldest, but it may not be the first. From Mystery to Eternity, a contraband manual of the Inks of Revelation, the author explains in a brief foreword that she is a high-ranking officer of an agency of the duties, and that, though she supports its mission, she has concerns about the long-term consequences of its work. All histories braided into a golden loop, shining ascent to eternity. I had never imagined I could be afraid that there might be too few truths. I could be wrong, but I'd like to leave at least one door ajar. Ichor Auroral can be brewed into an Encastum Terminale associated with the second history, using Inks of Revelation techniques with rose aspect. The author warns that this is exceptionally difficult, since these techniques aren't aligned with rose. But that's why I'm hoping the door will stay ajar, even once all the others are closed. I wish you luck. The Viennese Conundra. Brandriel describes odd events in Vienna, the disappearance of children, epidemics of parasite activity, animal mutilations, nightmares of worms, the activities of a charitable organization of the New Legions that funds the burial of the poor. She proposes peculiar connections between these activities. When the individual K attends the meetings, black dogs are sacrificed and quartered. When the element M is in attendance, black mares are found with their throats slashed. I propose that these sacrifices are not necessary, but that our Legion friends may consider them fitting. Herewith, diagrams of the mutilations. Medusa's riddle, then, I choose to render as what is not seen. There is another riddle, one I have heard rendered as what may be lost. I will delineate some historic attempts to answer it. These are, in themselves, in some sense, sacrifices. And unhatched hymns attributed to St. Lucia the Eyeless, patron of glassworkers, a name of the hour called Meniscate. The hymns venerate every sanctioned hour, celebrating them as the sun undivided, but also suggesting that each hour may become the next, madrigad to watchman, watchman to wolf, and so on. The hymn of the phases celebrates the Meniscate from whom we do not turn, for the truth which is beauty, the beauty which is truth, and the perfect balance between the two. The hymn of the Reflections, more puzzlingly, celebrates the Meniscate as the sister of Janus, mother of shadow, whose visage wondrous in emptiness can reveal all truths. Okay, so let's get the Hill and Hollow leveled up first. So with this, we will take... I'm going to keep the Confounding Parable aside if I can. Oh, nope, I need to make the... Alright, that's fine. We'll put it in there. When I thought I'd understood, I'd only begun. Improve the skill to level 7. Oh, right, I think I was going to use the earth sign. But it's not that difficult for me to just take another... Okay, so we made our first determination in the form of the first flower. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make an effort. The reason I kind of tried this was I wanted something with nectar, but I didn't go for the appetite just simply because the only difference would be the nectar itself. So with Weaving the World, one, it gave me Moon for the Edicts Inviolable or the Hill and Hollow that I was leveling up. But we're now also able to use the Heart or the Moon and learn a bit more about these 3 different histories, or 3 different determinations that we can make. So let's start with Heart. I'm trying to remember what my highest heart is. It may actually be Weaving enough. Okay, Quenching some Dwellings. We'll add Weaving the World. We need... I think it... No, it's not Maricat. Is it Porphyrion? Nope. Ultimate Exultant. Alright, the Horned Axe, oldest. The Horned Axe bears 2 blades, permits passage when passage is to be permitted, waits at the threshold. The Horned Axe, who forbids contradiction, is the oldest hour. Other hours might seem older, they are not older. Adds Heart and Knock to your journal, replaces any other oldest determination. Adding determinations to your journal makes it first possible, then easier to write a matching history. So of course this follows Grail. Grail was another oldest determination. I'm actually going to take a minute and write this down. I'm sure this is all available on the wiki, but it's a little more fun if I keep my own notes. And that gives Heart and Knock. I should have probably guessed the Knock on my own. Okay, let's see if I can get away with a Moon. So this won't work. Sea Stories, I think, has Grail as well, but Edicts Inviolable will probably do the trick. Oh, here we go. Make a determination. Black, the first flower. The Watchman's Tree is the covenant that forbids knowledge to mortals, but permits it in the covenant houses of the tree, like Brankrug Isle. The Black Flower of Calyptra, the Knight Unwounded, was its first defense. Forbidden knowledge must not be spoken, and must not be written, must not be known. The tree is rooted in night. So I definitely prefer red in this case, for this character, not necessarily personally. Adds Moon and Scale to your journal, replaces any other first flower determination. Adding determinations to your journal makes it possible, then easier to write a matching history. So Moon, flower, black. And of course, finally, Nectar. So for that, we want to add health. Well, we don't have to add health. In fact, if I wanted, I can probably just get away with what am I willing to give up? Core? Sure. Writes the roots. And Maracate. Our ancestors were born naked in the roots of the world. All we ever were has risen from that darkness. With our hands and mouths, we shaped language from mud. With our mouths and our hands, we will shape our future. Now, it did recommend an origin from nowhere, but this I actually think works pretty well. So adds Nectar and Moon to your journal, replaces any other origin determination. Adding determinations to your journal makes it first possible, then easier to write a matching history. trying to think. I hope I don't have to use the sacrament malachite to make Maricat. I can't remember how I made Maricat now. Drat. The Incastum terminality of the fifth history, the color of the principle that once occupied the place that heart does now. In the fifth history itself, the cult of Maricat was everywhere suppressed, but it's sometimes been venerated otherwise. Oh, I should make a note here. Okay. So 20 nectar. I don't think Maricat is an ink of power. Maybe I should double check. Scale, why do I think that's going to do anything? Losing all my rose places. Maybe this one? Yes, but not for the reasons I thought. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so revelation would be Usalt. Containment would be Nillicant. Clearly I've made a Maricat before. Well, not clearly, actually. I could have just found it. I'm really trying to remember how I made this. I think my best bet's to take a stab with some nectar. So I'll add some health. I'm just going to take a quick peek at some of my options here. So weaving and not working maybe, but yeah, nothing too exciting there. That also doesn't have nectar, so... oh boy. I do not have a lot of nectar options here. I'm just going to leave that aside. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Again, if I need to, I can always consult my notes, but... oh, I suppose I should pick another another book to read. Okay, so again, I have a specific order of things that I want to check out. I think what I'll do here. Sorry, I'm just realizing how little there is of a specific aspect I was looking for. I've got a list here of all the different aspects for the various Newman. Interesting. Okay, well, I learned something, but I have enough to move on, so we will use our metal. We will read the Maranus Patelli, and that is a Fusine text tablet. A book with very few pages. Skill is now level 7. Its power aspects have also increased. Hill and Hollow, the ways of the hill children and the gods from stone. Old paths, old secrets, the songs that still echo beneath the earth. If you can just give me a second here, I want to update my skill plan. So pentaments and precursors is still a high priority improvement because I need to take that from 6 to 8. But of course, if I don't have a grail or scale to work with, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. So ones that are like Hill and Hollow would be strings and songs. From there, oh, are you kidding me? Apparently I have another duplicate. What a disappointment. Okay. I'm going to work that out on my own time. I know I have 10 minutes left on this one here, and it's not going to be a decision that I need to make. Okay, cool. I think I've actually already got a solution. I have a really good habit for messing with my my overall plans. But yeah, so I do want to get some other skills leveled up. Again, we're getting to the point where we're finishing the game anyway. But if I get a chance to do something fun, I want to take the chance to do that. But there's also a way that I can sort of force getting a few more memories, or a few more skills in a fairly easy way, and that's by provoking a Numa. So we're going to do that shortly. I'm going to take the time here. Again, I want to try and put some low impact. Start going a little bit closer to the bottom of the list, I think. I should be opening this. Crack open the container, delight in your discovery. We don't really have any need for the memories at this point, so with Keeper level Sky and Ascendant Harmony might conjure a Didymos. Alright, so let's move these over. Big gap sitting here. What am I forgetting? Okay, so I wrote these down. So Old Wound, we don't have an Enduring Reflection yet. Ascendant Harmony, yes. Hive's Lament, yes. Curious Hunch, yes. Wormwood Dream, yes. Horizon Sight, yes. Didymos, we now have. Invincible Audacity, we have. Wind and Waiting, we have. Forbidden Epic, we don't have. Earthquake Name, and Occult Scrap. Okay, so I probably want to try and make the Enduring Reflection. Now, that may not be something that I can immediately make, but let's just see where we're at with that. So if I take the Not Health, the FET. I don't... Yeah, Inks of Power is not the answer there, but maybe Preliminal Meter? Yeah, so I just need to add a memory there. So... That was a pretty easy one. Now the Earthquake Name requires an old moment. I'm trying to remember if I get that from Auroral Contemplations or Disciplines of the Scar. If I add Lantern, I'm good. Still need to add a memory, though. Recall something lost, something scale aspected. Now, I'm going to need to turn that into an earthquake name basically today. Otherwise, because the old moment isn't persistent. That's fine. I guess I'm making the determination now, so I should be... Or no, sorry, I'm already reading the next text that has a Newman. All right. And I guess I'll keep talking with Mrs. Gill, but there isn't quite the same need. I'm the librarian of Hush House, and I have made my determination. The Locksmith's Dream in Cursus, the fifth and final volume of Teresa Galmier's notorious work, which began as an examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans, but became an account of her own occult journey. This volume was apparently never published, nor allegedly even written, yet here it is. The law goes back all the way to stone. The keys cannot be held or owned. This had, I believe, the unexpected consequence that those outside the law may hold and own them, but even they cannot keep them. And of course, a key is no more physical than a spirit, but a spirit may be housed in a body, and I have touched a key with my own hands. So the Legions hold the keys. I had thought the Legions only old and powerful transgressors of the crime of the sky, but I begin to understand that the crime of the sky is even more than it seems, and why a twin, who unites what is not to be divided, might accept a Legion as her name. Alright, let's give this a try with the... I'm not in like a super position to... Yeah, so where do I... Well, actually, the Wormwood Dream, if it's gonna have... Yep, there we go. Okay. I think this is worth taking the shot on. This does sort of mess up my Wormwood Dream plans, but... I think it's for a good cause. And then what I can do there, I'll make the Wormwood Dream again. Actually, it wouldn't hurt for me to load up a couple of moon memories. I think I'll do intuitions. I might even be able to use a third, but I don't think that'll be necessary. Amaranthus Batelli, a fragment of iron alloy, meteorite, carefully inscribed and polished. This object houses a Newman, a truth so powerful it can perhaps believe itself. Who gave us fire? Who gave us steel? What is the sound of dusk? Of what alloy is wind forged? Esoteric secrets of metallurgy and resonance are revealed, including directions towards the creation of a terrible bell. Ys by her arts found the strike tone that shakes the hours. For this reason, among many, the hours discourage traffic with Ys. But a bell cast with this secret could speak the Ys note. Now, one other thing I wanted to check was more curiosity than anything at this point. So, got named a... If I had a hive... Yeah, Hive's Lament. I'm just trying to think what Oh, hang on. Lethe. Nope. Gideon Soaks would be really weird to level up to. Well, the funny thing is, it may actually not be. It may just be that I need another. Okay, so let's throw as much nectar as we can at some of these other alternatives. So I don't see spices and savors yet. That's 14, so that's not going to do the trick there. Okay. Looks like I don't have the Numa pair. So I have a couple of options on that, but I feel like I'm making this harder than it needs to be. Because it seems to me that the Numa pair gets me Sacrament Malachite, but I don't need the Sacrament Malachite. I need Maricat. And if I'm honest, I kind of thought it might have been Lethe that does it. Gideon Soaks turns into January Sanguinary. I'm really drawing a blank on that. Well, that actually kind of makes sense because I haven't had to make Maricat in most of my playthroughs. So, like, I've made it once and then I just kind of have it. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Anyways, a conversation for another time, I think. I'm a little over time. I'm not crazy about ending in the halfway point of the day, but I think I'm going to do that here. The only thing I didn't really get done was I've got so much stuff now from my investigations. It's going to take, I've got a backlog that I need to open stuff up with, but that shouldn't take too long. I think I'm going to petition for another Numa because it's not that hard for us to actually make the final determinations, but it'd be kind of neat if I can commit a few more things to the Tree of Wisdoms. That was just kind of a private goal that I had for myself. And then, of course, we will make the final determination, or we'll write the history in the journal. So, on that note, I will leave you. I'll leave you all in the midday. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.